Hello everyone and welcome to another very nice game from round 8 of the 2019 Tata Steel Chess Tournament. It's a game between Viswanathan Anand and Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. Now, Mamedyarov has been having an excellent tournament. He did have that fluke against Magnus Carlsen where, well, he just blundered in the endgame. I guess he just relaxed a bit too fast. And that caused him to, fall down on the leaderboard. But here he faces Viswanathan Anand, and like I said, it's a wonderful game, and I don't want to give away anything, as you say you don't like spoilers, so let's just dive straight into it. Anand opens with e4, he has the white pieces, we have c6, the Caro-Kann defense, d4, d5, and here we have e5. Anand goes for the advanced variation, and here you have a couple of options. If black feels like really going into a fight, he could go in bishop f5 and allow the attack of the bayonets, g4. But Mamedyarov isn't up for that kind of a fight. Rather, he plays c5. And c5 is one of the moves I really hate and why I never play the advanced variation against any sort of c6, d5. It basically transposes into the French being a tempo down for black. For example, if c3, e6, you just have a normal French where black lost a tempo with that first c6 and then c5. But here Anand decides to go for d captures on c5, as he prepared something very nice for Mamedyarov. e6, knight to f3, and now developing a piece by capturing a pawn, bishop captures on c5, and now a3. A move that will come in very handy later when Anand executes his, novelty. Knight to e7, and here we have bishop to d3. And for those of you who are perhaps new to chess, you want to remember, if you're playing against the French and black castles here, always remember that if there's a knight on e7 blocking the queen's control of g5, then you can always go for this, well, almost always, bishop captures on h7 sacrifice. Where after king captures, you can go knight g checks, king moves, and then after queen h5, it's game over for black. And on the other hand, if after knight g5, black decides to go here, then after h4, it will be just a terrible game for black. It's you can just crush black easily. But okay, for those of you who are not new to chess, knight to g6 was played. I'm not allowing any such ideas. We have castles by Anand, castles by Mamedyarov, and here knight b to d2. And okay, Mamedyarov also develops knight to c6, here pressuring the e5 pawn, and here Anand executes his novelty. The reason I say novelty is because he plays b4, attacking the bishop, forcing the bishop to decide whether you want to go to b6, maybe e7. Mamedyarov goes b6, and it's very interesting. In 2018 Grenke Chess Festival, Anand had this position with the black pieces against Nikita Vityugov, and here Vityugov continued with bishop to b2. But here Anand prepares something else. Here Anand plays bishop captures on g6, and this is a new move. One of the reasons why I use this quote by Anand himself: for every door the computers have closed, they have opened a new one. And this is indeed a new move, never played before, and it's an odd move. This bishop on d3, it's usually white's best piece. It usually, black always has to keep an eye on this h-pawn. If this, leaves, always ideas like bishop captures on h7 are possible. But it's just an amazing piece. So it's very odd giving up the bishop pair in this fashion. You can capture with the h-pawn or with the f-pawn. Both captures seem good for black, but it leads to a different game. Here Mamedyarov decides to go f captures on g6, and surely this is the first time Mamedyarov has faced this. Or perhaps he is so into preparation of this opening that he even has a response prepared for this. Even though it was never played before. But I don't have the times on the clock, so I have no recollection, well, not recollection, as I never even knew, but I don't know how much time Mamedyarov spent on this capture. If any of you do share, and I will either heart it or whatnot. But okay, knight to b3, taking control of the d4 square. Also maybe the c5 can be used as an outpost for the knight. We have bishop to d7, Mamedyarov continues developing, and now rook to e1. So okay, everything is fine. It's a new game, and both of them are now maybe on not so much, but on an unknown territory. We have a5, Mamedyarov really wants to open up the position, but Anand closes it. We have b5, knight to e7, and now a5. And now you see that even though Anand gave up his bishop pair, he gave up his very strong light square bishop from d3, with this excellent play on the queen side, he basically made Mamedyarov's light square bishop into a pawn. So until Mamedyarov can untangle here, it will be very difficult for him to play this. But on the other hand, this semi-open f-file is a lot of problems for Anand, so Anand has to deal with it. We have rook to c8 and now bishop to e3. Of course, you cannot allow this bishop to stay strong. Bishop captures, we have rook captures, and now knight to f5. Rook, of course, moves. We have rook to d3, and now g5. As the pawns are doubled here, there's really no use in keeping both of them. You want to push g4 as soon as possible and make use of your weakness in the position. We have h3. Anand prevents pushing g4, and here it's the critical moment of the game already on move 19. Mamedyarov here played b6, and b6 is a bad move, but it's impossible to know why it's a bad move. Was the refutation of b6 found over the board by Anand, or was it like the quote says, a new door that was opened by the computers? It's hard to say, but it's really an amazing idea. So feel free to pause the video here and try to find this idea, even though it will not be right away clear why b6 is a blunder, but not so much a blunder, but it just allows white too much, and after I show you the game, we're going to cover why b6 was a bad move. But yeah, feel free to pause the video here and try to utilize this position to the maximum. For those of you who were able to do it, congratulations, you are truly an amazing player. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, Anand's weakest point in his position is the backward c2 pawn, which is a weakness. You can't push it to c4, c4 is covered, and well, it will always be a weakness. Black will either create some sort of a rook-queen battery, or perhaps even double rooks on the c-file, who knows, and try to attack this weakness. But here, Anand is actually able to play c4. And what's the idea behind it? Well, of course, if you capture here, that's an impossibility, because of rook captures here. You lose the piece, the queen has to move, and then you're just winning. On the other hand, if you play something like, for example, rook captures on c4, this was played in the game. But now we will see why it's not possible. Rook captures on d5. This was Anand's idea. And now if pawn captures, queen captures with check, king has to move, and now queen captures on c4. Leaving white with a wonderful position. This knight can come to d4, you can push this pawn to e6, it's just wonderful. So after rook captures on d5, we have rook to f7. Deciding that the queen will not be able to come to d5 in the future with check, and also the rook is now guarding the bishop, as the bishop is attacked twice via the rook and the queen. We have rook back to d3. Now there was actually the danger of capturing the rook, and now Mamedyarov most likely wanted to shock Anand, as Anand has already done wonderful things in this game, and it's only move 22. He plays g4. He wants to start an attack as soon as possible, bust open the position. The rook is guarding the pawn, but he misses, well, a very nice reply by Anand, to say the least. Knight to d2. Attacking the rook has to move, and now the queen is also guarding the g4 pawn. We have rook to b4, and now h captures on g4, forcing the knight to move away. Knight to e7, and now simply knight to f3. And what do you play here as black? White just won material. Black's pieces are all cramped up. Your bishop cannot move. There's still this very powerful battery along the d-file. Here, Mamedyarov decided to close it and activate his knight. Knight to d5. And now we have knight b to d4. What do you do here? There are a lot of threats here, such ideas as knight to f5, for example, as the pawn that guards the f5 square also guards the knight on d5. We have rook to f4, gaining more activity for Mamedyarov, but now comes knight to c2. Attacking this rook, and it's very hard for this rook to find any shelter. You could go something like rook b2, but the idea, if rook b2 is the same as after the move Mamedyarov played. Mamedyarov played rook to e4, rook b2 e4, and well, again, pause the video here and try to find Anand's idea. As we've already mentioned, that it's not all that mysterious anymore, but still, I mean, 29 moves, such a brilliancy. Yes, congratulations, as I'm sure all of you found it. Rook captures on d5. Now you have to capture, or you're just down in material. E captures on d5 was played, and after queen captures on d5 with check, it was in this position that Shakhriyar Mamedyarov resigned the game. So it's hard to say not the greatest tournament for him, but yeah, losing that game to Carlsen in a let's say equal position, but it's easy to say it's an equal position when you know it's an equal position. When he was playing it, he thought everything was just a draw, and then Anand introducing this new bishop captures on g6, such a fresh idea, definitely not going easy on Mamedyarov. But yeah, he resigned because after the king moves, you can go rook to d1. There's no way to save the bishop here. You can, for example, just move the queen, but then queen captures, and you still cannot capture the knight here because of the checkmate. Your back rank is weak. So after queen captures, rook captures, you now have two knights for a rook, but still you cannot capture anything, as still there are threats of checkmate. So let's say h6, but now g5. You want to threaten further checkmating ideas. So after king h7, you can just capture, king captures, and now rook d6 check. King moves, and now you can even push the pawn. You're gonna grab the b6 pawn, and white is just winning. On the other hand, after queen captures on d5, if you block rook f7, you also guard the bishop here, preventing rook ad1. Then simply queen captures on e4, you snatch up the rook, and it's all over. So yeah, 29 moves. In modern days, 29 moves is just a miniature, and what a miniature at that. Almost all the pieces still on the board. Really just a beauty, a modern beauty. So yeah, and I did prepare the standings after round 8. Here they are. As you can see, Carlsen and Anand are now sharing first place with 5.5 points. Then they're followed by Nepo, Dinglier and Nxg3 with 5 points as they weren't able to win their games. Then Timur Rajabu with 4.5, Vidit Gujarati with 4, Young Shishov Duda with 4. Then with 3.5 points, Vladimir Ferosev and Samuel Shankland. With 3, Shakhriyar Mamedyarov and Richard Rapport. With 2.5 points, Van Forest. And, well, it's easy to say what an unexpected surprise that Kramnik is on 2 out of 8, but it's just one tournament. Nothing to worry about. But yeah, it's very interesting. Carlsen and Anand sharing first place now ahead of everyone. But it's Mamedyarov is who they have to thank, as you can play a brilliant game, but your opponent also has to help. And yeah, I think it's wonderful how everyone's always trolling Anand that he's too old, that he should retire from professional chess, but he always keeps on proving them wrong, and he always keeps on winning this amazing games. So definitely a good time to be alive for chess. So yeah, that's the game. I do hope you enjoyed it and that you're enjoying my coverage of the 2019 Tata Steel Chess Tournament. I would like to thank Anton Sorokov, Gordon Gutman, Joseph Bassett, Christopher Dick, and KD Nuggets for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. And funny story for those of you who are perhaps into anime. As I'm not feeling all that great, I decided to check out all the episodes of One Punch Man Saitama, as I've never actually seen that. I've seen maybe episode or two, and I said, okay, now I'm not feeling all that great, I'm just gonna watch that. And I finished watching the first season, and then I realized that they never actually made the second season, so I was very disappointed to see that. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that as well. And yeah, as usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon, hopefully with some more interesting content. Thank you all, and I'll see you soon.